Good morning. Good morning. Welcome. Yeah, welcome to Animal Soul Wisdom Share. Yeah, and today both Manitou and Lelou want to step forward. Intrigued to see what comes up and through. Bear with me 2 moments. Something's just come up on my computer. It's going to take me there and there. How interesting. And let's come back here. There we go. Yeah, so Manitou and Lelou has stepped forward to wish to speak to our hearts. Yeah, so let me just drop in, see what they wish to share. We wish for you to know that it is not your decision how our life is. We wish for you to know that you do and can support our lives when here with you. But it is not your decision of how our life with you is to be. In some ways, it is also not our decision. It is not a biological choosing. It is not a choosing as something that has been picked. And we wish to share this with you, to ask for you to let go of desire, let go of trying to make a mold, trying to create something that is created in a different way. Let go of the desire that you focus upon, of how you desire us to be, of how you wish us to be, of how you would like our lives to be. It is not your decision of how our life with you is. It is your decision of how your life is. But do not let this trickle out into us. Do not let this bleed into us. Do not be confused with your desire and put that focus onto us. We are so connected to your hearts. That's the connection that you feel. We are so connected to your hearts. We are, in that way, a heart message. We are, in that way, a connection to your heart. We are, that way, a symbol of your heart. We are that way. A mirror of your heart. It is your heart that calls upon us. It is your heart that calls upon us. And whilst your heart calls upon us, you are not aware of this. But see us as what your heart desires for yourself. See us as what your heart desires for yourself. Not what you desire for us, but how we come as a messenger of your own heart. We come as a messenger of your own heart, for your own heart, for yourself. This desire you hold, this infatuation you often hold, is for yourself. This is what your heart is asking you to see. This is how your heart created us to come to you. It was not your decision. It is not your decision of how our life is. But your heart knows, and your heart knew, that it needs support, it needs backup, and we are here to back up your heart. We are here to support your heart's desire. You focus so much, you focus so much of your energy, your fuel. You focus so much of yourself on our lives. But that is not your decision. Your decision is for your life. Your life. Now, we are speaking of now. Your life now. Your heart is longing. Your heart is longing for you. For you to desire for yourself. For you to look at what you desire for us. What you so intensely focus on us, and turn this around. Like an arrow being shot, turn this arrow around and shoot this arrow of desire into yourself. It is the only way. You desire for how you want our lives to be, yet you do not desire for your own lives. You ignore this. And so the loop is incomplete. The desire you want for us is not able to be met. For the arrow that you direct out, the arrow of desire you direct out, you must also direct in. The ways that we are, the ways that we are, the ways that we can be, the ways that we come. They are not separate. They are not separate to what is being held, of what is occurring in you. And so it is not your decision of how our lives are to be, but it is your decision of how your life is to be. And that is where the heart wrote to us, where the heart gives out a call, knowing that we are messengers of the heart. That we come as a symbol of the heart, that we come as a reflection of the heart, and where your heart is and what your heart needs, and how your heart is hurting. Where you are hurting. It is your heart's pull that you feel when we are with you. It is such a deep pull of your heart, because your heart created us, your heart called for us. And so when we are in your lives, you feel this connection from your heart, and you recognize it as love. You say it is love, and yes, that is true. It is love. Love of the highest kind, love of the strongest kind. And you say it is love. Your heart expands when we are with you. And we come to expand your heart because your heart has asked for this. We come to expand your heart because your heart wrote to us, called out for us. Not to feel love from another, not to focus your desires on another. These are things that you tell yourself, but your heart wrote to us, your heart called out to us. Because your heart wants you to see yourself. Your heart wants you to give this to yourself. Give yourself love. Give yourself desire. For all that is happening in our lives, that is not your decision, but for all that is happening in our lives and what you desire for us, make this desire for yourself. Where you are wanting change, make this change for yourself. Where you want a difference, make this difference for yourself. We only exist from love. We only share here from love. But we feel the deep collective desire for how you want our lives to be. But how is this possible when you do not focus on yourself, where you do not focus these desires on yourself? And by desires, we mean deep reflections. By desires, we mean the desire of what you want for us, the desire of change for us, the desire of us being different. The desire is the arrow of desire that we shoot back at you, that you shoot back at yourself. Allow this arrow to turn around and shoot back into yourself, and to notice what you desire in us. How can you desire in yourself? And yes, this is good desires of love and happiness and joy and having a good life. But these desires are also your focus on changing us, on things that maybe you don't want us to have, to be. That is not your decision. That is not your decision. But see these things as desires also, and how these desires are actually your desires for yourself. Those things that are not in tune with you, those things that hurt you, those things that hurt your heart, those things that have silenced your heart. And so that was your heart writing to us, asking for us to come, as reflections of your heart, as a symbol of your heart, and for your heart to be heard, to be felt, to be noticed when we are with you. That is your heart calling you. That is your heart calling yourself to pay attention, to listen, to notice. Not placing your heart onto us, not placing your desire onto us, but seeing what you place onto us. And notice where you are to place this on yourself. Your life is your decision. Our life is not your decision. Yet our lives are not independent. Our lives are not separate. It is not your decision of how our lives are to be. It is not even your decision of when we are to leave. It is not. It is not your decision of how our lives are to be. But as you decide how your life is to be, this will also affect how our lives are to be. This is what we wish for you to realize, that as you decide how your lives are to be, as you decide to look at your own desires, look at your own desires carefully, precisely, patiently. And yes, this may bring pain. Yes, this may hurt. But if there is a continuation of placing your desires onto us, then we will always be here in this wheel. We will always be here. There will be no change, no difference. You are the change. You are the change. And it is not as if change is needed, but a refocus of where you place your desires. A refocus of placing the desires onto us and turning that arrow of desire around and focusing it onto yourself. You feel that we are in pain. Where are you in pain yourself? You feel that we should be different. Where do you feel you should be different yourself? You feel that we should be changed. And where do you feel you should be changed in yourself? Notice what comes up in you when you are with us. The good and the uncomfortable. The happy and the discomfort. We are just a reflection of your heart and what your heart is asking for you. Your heart already knows who you are. Your heart has not forgotten this. And we come as messengers of the heart because your heart wrote to us, your heart called for us to help you. Your heart has called us, for your heart is asking for help for yourself. Your heart wants you to be fully engaged. Your heart wants to be fully heard. Your heart wants you to be all the things that your heart already knows that you are. And you cannot see this. And so your heart called upon us for help so that you can see. You can see that we are messengers of your heart, that we are reflections of your heart for yourself. And so how our life is not your decision. How our life can be supported in how you are, in how you are in your life, how you are in your heart. But it is not your decision of how our life is. There are greater things that are deciding our lives. It is all happening at once. These things are all happening at once. But it is not your decision of how our life is. It is only your decision of how your life is. And whilst we come for our own experiences, whilst we come for, we also have our own experiences to be felt, to be helped, to be removed. To be changed. This is not your decision. But as you decide for yourself, then that is also the experience we are to have. But no, as we lie in front of you, where we sit in front of you, know that as we are with you, your heart wrote to us to ask for help. And the way you can see this help is in us. We bring such a deep heart connection to you, for it is your heart that wants you to see yourself, and we want you to see your own heart. We want you to live from your heart, just as we are living from ours. And that is the magnet, that is the connection, that is the connector, that we represent your heart, that we represent where your heart currently is at and what your heart needs, what your heart asks, what your heart calls for. And that is your decision. That is your decision. Knowing that as you place more focus on yourself, as you place more focus on the desire for yourself, this will naturally have an effect on us, because we represent your heart, and in representing your heart, what desires you make for yourself, you also make for us. That is the parallel here. That is the way of it not being your decision of our life, yet how your decisions for yourself can be for our own lives, because we represent your heart. We are a representative of your heart. And so, as you live from your heart, as you feed your heart, as you listen to your heart, as you make your heart strong and make your heart heard, and begin to return to the heart, and begin to return to yourself. Your heart and our heart is not different. We are connected that way. And so this then has an effect on our life, but not from the desires. Do not focus on the desires. They are not your decision. They are not your decision. Your life is your life, and our life is our life. And all that is to be shared, and all that is to be experienced, but how our life is not your decision. Your decision is for how your life is to be, for your desires, and naturally that will also move into our lives. That is the only way it can be. It cannot be a forced desire. It cannot be forced. It cannot be seen as separate. When you are connected to your heart, it is not separate. Nothing is separate. But where you shoot these arrows of desire out of yourself and not into yourself, the circuit is not complete. The circuit is not complete. And there can be no change, really. Changes can be seen, but in the wider being of ways, there are no changes. The only change is when you also include yourself, when you realize that your life is your decision, but our life is not your decision. We are here to have our own life in so many ways of what we are to have, of what we have willingly volunteered also as we come to you, but also we have our own lives. Our own lives. We have our own lives to unpick and to remove and to have. And this can also include sacrifices of what our lives can be and how our lives can be. But that is the same for all things. That is the same for you also. The sacrifices that are to be given for where we have been and what we are to become. But in this moment also, in this moment where there is no separation, all is happening all at once. Your heart also wrote to us, your heart also called us for help. And we come as help in the way, as a representation of your heart. Your heart is asking for representatives, and we are them. What you leak out, the desire you leak out onto us, is what your heart's desire is calling for you. And so go be with your heart and go be with these desires and listen to them and learn from them. And come back and report to us, come back. Be with us and know that as you look at these desires for yourself, that these desires are not for us, these desires are for yourself. and giving yourself these desires and being with these desires, some that are comfortable, some that are not. But as you are with these desires, you will see the representatives that we are, and you will see how, as you place these desires on yourself, how you place this arrow of desire on yourself, naturally this arrow of desire will be felt in us naturally as your heart is heard, and as we come as helpers of your heart, and as your heart needs less and less and less support and help of what we bring, as you come more back into your heart, the intensity of this help in us reduces. And in reducing, that is where you begin to see those changes, those desires that you focused so intently on, those desires that you placed so heavily upon us, that then do not work. But as you place these desires back in yourself and are with them, then the help that is needed, the help that your heart needs from us, is reduced. And there will be change. We wish for you to see this. We wish for you to understand this. Place those desires upon yourself, and naturally there will be a difference in what you desire for us. Place these desires upon yourself, and naturally there will be a difference in these desires that you wish for us. We are a reflection of your heart. We are messengers of your heart. We are representatives of your heart. We have our own lives. That is not your decision. But in being here with you, we are representatives of your heart, whilst we have our own lives. But that was already chosen. It is not you who chose, but that was already chosen. So your heart already knew, as did our heart already know. But what your heart needs is what you feel we need. What your heart needs is what you feel we need. And that is the connection. That is the connection, that we come and you feel us from your heart. That is the help that your heart asked for. Your heart wrote to us and said, it needs help for you to see yourself. And so when we come, that is what you notice without noticing, that we are a representative of your heart, that you see yourself in us, you see your own desires, you see the desires of yourself in us. But you could not see this, and perhaps cannot see this. What you see in us, what you desire in us, is what you desire for yourself, is what your heart desires for yourself. And this is where to start. This is where to start. We repeat that our life is not your decision. Your decision is your life. And when you look at these desires not on us, but on yourself, there these desires will appear in us. As you hear your heart more, the help it needs becomes less. And there we will simply recognize each other. There you will simply see the reflections of your heart. There the way that we live will be new and different. This is what your heart desires for you. And in all things being representatives of your heart, this is what we all desire for you. This is where to begin. This is where to start. And we ask you to begin here, and we ask you to start now. We send you love of all of us. We sit here, we stand here, we are here as representatives of all canines speaking now. We do not speak individually, we speak here, holding of all canines. All canines are representatives of your heart in your life, representatives of your heart. As representatives of your heart, we end by saying that we all love you. We end by saying that we are helping your heart. And when your heart is in that place of full desire, we do not leave necessarily. That is not how it is to be. For your heart and our heart wishes to also be together from a place of no desire, just being, where you can be, where you can reach, and reach it you can reach a place of no desire, no wanting, and just being. It is there, it already exists and is already happening. You are already there. with us. And we look forward to your return. We will always come as representatives for your heart, even when your heart has no desire. We will always come and stand with you. And so we send you love. We send you love and we send you courage. For our words may not have been heard easily. We send you courage. If you wish for a difference for us, if you wish for a desire for us, this must first be a desire for yourself. And as you explore these desires for yourself, you will eventually have no desires and be full of heart. And there you will see how we came as representatives for your heart and how we exist heart to heart. Go and be with those desires. Go and be with your heart. We love you. We speak for all canines that are with all. We love you. We love you. So it's like bright light, bright light. Oh, oh my goodness. I am so holding the representatives of our hearts. Wow. As always, such deep, deep words and many words to sit with and listen to. Wow, such deep imagery with that. So many images. Oh, wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for dropping in and listen to this as many times as you need. Yeah, and that real deep instruction almost, I guess, is of yeah, look at these desires that we hold, that we're placing onto our animal friends, grabbing that arrow of desire and bringing it back in. Yeah, seeing our dogs as our representatives of our own heart. Yeah. What does our heart speak? Seen in our animal friends. Beautiful, really beautiful. Oh, my friends, yes, thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Lelou and Manitou that are just down here staring at me. Yeah, lots of love, many blessings.